Richard Burns Rally. It has been the undisputed king of rally games for 20 years now, with gravel, sand and snow physics made by modders so advanced big studios can't get close to it. There are hundreds of community made stages and cars, but with Assetto Corsa Rally just released, is there a new rally king on the rising? In this video we are going to compare the key aspects of both simulators. Although I am mainly a circuit racer, I love me a good rally game. I've participated in the most intense rally championship of Richard Burns Rally, where I took part in the SimRallyMasters championship, which were sometimes hundreds of kilometers long, in one sitting, in a two-stroke Wartburg.
Go straight, 120.
So you can say I have my fair share of experience in the sim. We are gonna compare all these different categories today. Let's see which simulator comes out on top. Enjoy the video.
3, 2, 1, go, go.
First of all, wow! What a breath of fresh air. Assetto Corsa Rally drives amazing on dirt. How the different cars all take the different bumps. Every little stone feels like it has an impact on the car, and every corner is also different in this game. This creates a really dynamic driving experience, where no corner is the same. You can just immediately tell from the inside and outside that how the car moves and manages the weight transfer, that the physics are really good. The way the car absorbs the bumps and you can bottom out your suspension feels superb. I mean, just look at it.
Need only extra weight.
Late 50.
Did you guys see that bump? Yeah, there! Wow, that's amazing. I like that. For Richard Burns Rally, there's a reason why this game is the GOAT over the last 20 years. No other game could simply get close to the physics on loose surfaces of Richard Burns Rally. It's so satisfying when you get a corner just right in this game, where you for example use the camera in the road to execute the corner perfectly, how the car's tires dig in the corner, and how many different kinds of surfaces there are in the game. It's simply amazing. For AC Rally, the moment you step in the car, you feel at home and the car does exactly what you expect it to do. From the first moment you turn the car in for a bend, you get a sense of what the weight of the car, tires and suspension is doing. That is a very big plus in my books. Managing weight transfer and momentum is one of the most important things in rally driving. The same can be said for Richard Burns Rally. Here it also feels exactly how it should be from the first moment you drive. I remember when I first started up Richard Burns Rally a couple years ago, how I instantly fell in love with how the sim drives. In a sim you also immediately have a feel for how the weight transfer, tires and suspension handle. I do think Richard Burns Rally has a somewhat simpler physics compared to AC Rally. I mean, the game is quite a bit older and physics additions, cars and tracks are all updated and improved by the community, instead of a big software development team. In AC Rally the tracks are laser scanned, so every little nook and cranny of the road gets picked up and simulated in this game. This way I feel you have a way more complex surface compared to Richard Burns Rally. From the edges of the track to the different stones, it's all super detailed and no corner is the same. But because of the more simplistic physics in Richard Burns Rally, you don't have as many physics holes and the gameplay doesn't have as many quirks in some scenarios as other sims have. In my opinion, this is going to be a win for both of the titles, as they are both really good in their own ways. There are of course way more surfaces in Richard Burns Rally, like sand, mud and snow for example, but if you just compare dirt for dirt now, they are both on par. I think in the future AC Rally might take the win here, but we will have to see how good the other stages are. Dirt Rally 1, mediocre road physics. Dirt Rally 2, mediocre road physics. EAWRC, decent road physics. But oh man, finally here with AC Rally we have some good road physics. I think it really helps that this game physics are based on the Assetto Corsa physics engine. You have a really detailed road surface where you feel all the dips and bumps in the road and how the suspension copes with the surface and weight of the car. Also here on the road you can feel what the weight of the car does and how you can fully utilize this. I think these physics will also be a blast on some hill climb tracks in the future. Unlike the Dirt Rally franchise and EAWRC, the car finally feels like it's connected to the road properly through the tires. In those games it sometimes feels like the car is just floating over the surface. In Richard Burns Rally the road physics are not really where the game shines. Don't get me wrong, they are way better than Dirt Rally and EAWRC, but it's where the simplicity of the physics are more obvious than on gravel. It's still really enjoyable, you feel how the car loads up in a corner and it behaves like in real life. But sometimes you also have that disconnected feeling you get as in some other games. You can just see the amount of detail that is getting simulated in Assetto Corsa Rally, from the tire deflation and inflation to the suspension works. That's why I think Assetto Corsa Rally has a way higher ceiling for the depth of the physics, but it can also be a problem when the physics get too complicated and they don't understand their own system anymore. All in all, this is a clear win for Assetto Corsa Rally. I've seen some reviews who say the road physics are a little bit twitchy, but I've not experienced it this way. The physics were immediately intuitive and most importantly enjoyable. I can with confidence say that the car is finally attached to the road. Richard Burns Rally road physics are also super enjoyable, and every time there was a tarmac stage during the SimRallyMasters Championship, I blasted to the top of the stage leaderboard. It is simple but good. Aside from some bugs in the settings menu, the force feedback is really good in Assetto Corsa Rally. I had one issue where I had to crank the settings insanely high because it felt there was almost nothing on default settings. Okay, but okay, force feedback is kind of working, but I have to crank it up like crazy, guys. 200 gain? This is not normal. These settings I also use in different games. I just used a slightly altered Dirt Rally 2 profile in my Mosa settings, but it was already really good. There's good detail, as you really feel what the road is doing and where you're driving. The limit of the grip is also really nicely felt through the steering wheel, audio and graphics. One thing that I didn't really feel was up to par was when I would lock up a wheel when on tarmac. I mean, I can hear the wheel locking up, but I don't really know if it is the front or back, left or rear tire. As for Richard Burns Rally, the force feedback is good. You definitely feel the age compared to some of the newest sims on the market, but it covers all the basic needs. It lacks all the extra fluff we have nowadays, for the better or worse. One thing that I sometimes have an issue with is that the force feedback can be very violent in this game. This one isn't tie in my books. If ACR can be a little bit more polished, I think it might take the win here. The weather looks amazing in Assetto Corsa Rally. You have beautiful rain which covers the windshield, you have lightning strikes, visibility is limited. Just what I like. It lacks features like snow at the moment, but looks wise it's definitely no slouch. Where it is a slouch though is in the physics department. I chose the worst settings possible in the settings, but it still felt the same, minus 50% grip. Paddles do nothing, gravel didn't really change, no aquaplaning, but I've heard that they are working on implementing all of this. In Richard Burns Rally, weather is basic, but it covers everything. From fog to snow to rain. Not all maps have weather effect built in by modders though. The different weather gives the championship a whole different element of surprise and engagement. Just what I like. Just look what happened in this rally, almost 4 hours in.
3 right, don't cut, tighten.
Oh my god, nee. Wait, is the car dead? No way the car's dead, right? No way. Wait, it's not that! It's not that! Yup, only in Richard Burns Rally. So in my books, this is a clear win for Richard Burns Rally. I don't say this lightly, but the graphics of Assetto Corsa Rally are really next generation in the simulator genre. Look at the grass! Look at the fidelity of the cars! Look at the road! Look at the co-driver! It's built on Unreal Engine 5, which is the new next generation game engine developed by Epic Games. This is part of why the game is so immersive. This is also the part why the game stutters like crazy.
40, keep right, 3 left.
Couple of stutters, but I am
Right, 6 left.
I am recording, trying to get 120 FPS and failing.
5 left.
Quite a few stutters actually.
Although I've read that people with lower than the given minimal requirements can run this game, everyone has issues with stutters in this game, including me. I know this is hard to do in Unreal Engine 5, but this needs to be minimized in a fast-paced game like this. Richard Burns Rally is, well, 20 years old. Some stages look like ass.
Nasty for me to drive, but hopefully I won't get a migraine attack from it.
And some still hold up pretty well. I mean, just look at some of these recent released maps. They are amazing. The graphics are good enough when you blast through a forest and get you immersed enough after a while of driving. Also important is that this game can run on a potato nowadays and is butter smooth. I really have to take my hat off for these modders and what their work means for the community. Thank you. I don't care what anyone says, but graphics are important to me in a simulator to get fully immersed in. Richard Burns Rally is good enough, but obviously Assetto Corsa Rally blasts Richard Burns Rally out of the water in this segment. Another important aspect for me is sound. Richard Burns Rally has a really high fidelity sound system through the help of modders. I really have to take my hat off again and thank the people who spent the free time getting this as perfect as they can. You can hear all the stones rattling on the car and the engines all do the real life ones justice. Ram that like button for the modders. Assetto Corsa Rally was really weird for me first, as the sound was really muffled. I was saying in chat how it sounded so weird. Did you hear the sound? It's really muted, but maybe it's realistic with helmet on or something like that. But the sound doesn't wow me yet. Wow. Luckily, after finding this video of a real life rally driver, I found out that this is because of the special helmet rally drivers use to listen to their co-driver.
Like, yeah, in a real rally helmet, you can't hear pretty much anything outside of that helmet. It's so sealed onto your ears. And so because of that, almost all the sounds that you hear are sounds that are funneled through your microphone.
Which isn't really used in different racing disciplines. Although this might be realistic, it really dampens the great engine and gearbox sounds these cars make. So I would like for there to be a toggle to turn that feature off and also tell the audience in some way that this is the case, as I had to find this out through a YouTube video. Although Richard Burns Rally is mighty impressive for such an old game, it is still Assetto Corsa Evo who takes the cake here. Multiplayer is a big one for me. What is the fun in just driving around or against times from an AI you don't even see? That's where Richard Burns Rally really shines, with a super active community. You have daily races, special events and championships, with all sorts of different classes and skill levels. These events can have entries ranging from just a couple up to almost 2000. And to top it off, you also have leaderboards. In Assetto Corsa Rally, you also have leaderboards, which sometimes work. I know this is early access, but this is the state this game is in. This is a clear win for Richard Burns Rally. Just look at the track selection of Richard Burns Rally. It's amazing. Although the quality of the track can vary greatly, you will almost never run out of stages to drive on. This way you can have the real rally experience where you listen to the Go driver instead of memorizing the stage and hot lapping.
Short, 6 left and 5 right, narrows, and 4 left and caution, 4 right, bump, bridge into,
Didn't hear
short, 4
any
left
of
and...
that, bro. This is what makes this game so appealing, and why there are championships with hundreds of kilometers of stages you probably haven't driven much. Yeah, Assetto Corsa Rally has still a long way to come, but the stages that are here are definitely easily the highest fidelity stages there are in any rally sim, period. I hope they really come through with the mod support or a track creator.
We are evaluating mods. We like mods. We grew up with mods, me and Marco. So this is definitely something that we will focus on the future.
This is a clear win for Richard Burns Rally, but I'm really curious into what Assetto Corsa Rally brings to the table in the future. Assetto Corsa Rally has all the different eras, drivetrains and powertrains covered. From the really bare bones 60s front-wheel drive Mini to somewhat more sophisticated 70s rear-wheel drive rally cars. To the rear-wheel drive Lancias, to the more modern all-wheel drive Coupe Lancia, early 2000s all-wheel drive Xara WRC and modern rally cars. The selection of cars is not big, but they are all vastly different and fidelity is insanely high. You can really tell they put a lot of love and care into the cars. In Richard Burns Rally you have everything, from 2-stroke cars.
Go! Go straight, 120. Six left.
Boom! Third gear, damn! To the most modern WRC cars.
Into 5 right, 120. 4 right, 100.
There's literally a car for everyone. Quantity can vary, but all these cars are held up to a decently high standard. Richard Burns Rally wins again, just purely on the quantity.
All right, don't cut.
In Assetto Corsa Rally, you drive hard against a tree, bodywork flies off the car, but you still drive like nothing happened. That takes thrill out of the rally experience. Rally is all about finding the perfect balance of pace and being careful enough. If you go over the threshold, you are out of the rally, no questions asked. I'm missing this feeling in this game, even on hardcore mode. But I've heard that they are working on this feature for the future. There's no worse feeling in Richard Burns Rally than crashing the car after driving for a couple of hours and that the engine won't turn on again. They really capture this constant fear when driving in a championship, and you will just gain positions by not crashing the car.
Fuck you, game. Fuck you, game.
The damage model is really bad though. Sometimes you will clip the edge of the track and instantly die.
What the hell? Dude! What?
And the damage model is always the same. It doesn't care if the car is all-wheel drive or front-wheel drive, or if the engine is in the back or in the front. It's always the same damage model. This is a win for Richard Burns Rally purely because they capture that constant fear. But I'm really curious at what Assetto Corsa Rally can cook up. Finally, the price. Assetto Corsa Rally has been launched at an insanely good price in my opinion. You support the developers and get a really low price entry into the future game. Compared to Richard Burns Rally's price though, it really falls flat on its face, as Richard Burns Rally is free. Thank you again, modders. So after comparing all these categories, the picture is pretty clear. It's 5 to 8 for Richard Burns Rally. Richard Burns Rally still holds the crown when it comes to sheer surface variety. Decades of refined community physics, modding tools and the overwhelming amount of content you can plug into it. If you want the deepest rally ecosystem ever made, that's still the benchmark. But Assetto Corsa Rally is already punching far above its weight. Its road physics, surface detail, dynamic weight transfer and overall driving feel are on a completely different technological level. On tarmac it's already ahead, and on gravel it's close enough that a few updates could tip the balance. The ceiling here is simply much higher. If the team nails stage variety, weather and modding tools, we might genuinely see a new Rally King over the next couple of years. If you enjoyed this breakdown, ram the like button, subscribe if you want more sim racing deep dives, and let me know in the comments what you want me to test next. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.